So YouTube gets let in. There we have it. There we have it. And perfect. Mimi's delivery service as the first song that actually plays after I press go live. But that's fun. I also just fixed my home automation setup because one of my light bars just decided to disconnect. So I had to fix that. That reminds me, I need to also prepare some things. For when I go to TwitchCon. Anyway. Time for me to load into the game. Final Fantasy 14. Yes, I decided against going live yesterday because, well, as I expected, it was very warm in my room, like, and it would become unbearably hot if I let my PC run. Currently, I have a fan behind me just cooling me down. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm bringing a card game, by the way. And look at that, there's the game. Endwalkies. Connecting to the Chaos data center. I did log in yesterday to do something about my keybinds. You know, the absolutely horrid double 2 hotbar shenanigans of 0 to equals. Well, I changed it so it makes more sense. So all buttons are within reach. Oh, I've got mail. Someone decided to send me a letter. Is there a post? Yep, there's a delivery mogul right by the Scholar's Harbor. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from. Of course. Of course. It's Amanda. Tartarolic tart. Ah. Anyway, we are gonna hit the books. The Baldessian Annex awaits. Oh, there's a lookout there. Just turn on my sprint. Sprint on V is throwing me somewhat for a loop, but that's okay. Scholar's Harbor. Although known for its distinctly curving piers, the most prominent feature of the city's port is, without a doubt, the towering statue of Sharlayan. Sharlayan's patron deity faces out toward the water, his eternal gaze watching over every vessel which arrives and departs by sea. The waves are looking nice and calm. Accidents around here are rare, but it pays to remain vigilant. No, I'm gonna be putting the statue in the center. Little frame. The statue of Sharlayan. Which, funnily enough, I didn't consider it during character creation, but yes, I have Sharlayan as a guardian deity, as the guardian during character creation. So yes. Well, he's not really a scholar per se, but character himself. There we have Urian J. Fankred and Estinian. But today we will be helping the twins, Yashtola, Graha, and Kryl. Our tour of the city was a pleasant distraction. I feel more than ready now to tackle the challenges today. The process by which the forum members are elected is fair and equitable. Neither wealth nor social standing offers any advantages to a prospective candidate. But fairly elected or not, Master Matoya still found them all to be insufferable. I still don't understand how the vote could be unanimous. What could possibly convince them all to turn their backs on Eorzea? If the forum is intent on concealing its intentions, then a cursory investigation will avail us little. I suspect we will need to dig deeper, and with the greatest of care. Kryl's intent on uncovering the reason behind the forum's inexplicable behavior. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan. Together we will divine the underlying cause for the forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us convene outside the Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. What a day, what a day. Time to get all the... I'm still used to turning on auto run with R. I'm gonna need to get used to my new keybinds. As you can see, I have Shade Shift, Feint, and Second Wind on the F key. So it's press F for O. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you now stand before the doors of the Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many for the archives of the Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Cabal Library pale in comparison to the Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphina will help me continue my search for the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here of the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Okay, that's interesting. The title on the spine reads The Story of Sharlayan. Read the book. There's 3 options. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadin man by the name of Yunkruf. Yunkruf was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Yunkrup's crew hauled them aboard his ark. The danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Yunkrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalafia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them. But it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Yunkrep gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew. In time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Sounds a bit like a... Yeah, that sounds like a story, alright. Roads of old to the colony. That felt like fantasy. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Yunkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the wisdom of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, They built a homeland unlike any others. A nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin. And the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war, and with knowledge deliver the world. Forever 20 summers. I don't know, that sounds like an introduction to the heavens. Nope, that sounds like mythology. The voice of a growing city. And again, I pressed the wrong button. You know what? I'll try this. I'll try this one. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. A larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and await your companions. Oh, you can still read them. I will do that, just in case. Just for extra context. An introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond. Of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us is to be a finite space. Yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came close to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. 'Twas they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but immeasurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Well, Sharlayan is starting to get how we think about this. Forever 20 summers. Oh, my beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health? And neglect to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night engrossed in philosophical study I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years in life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. Could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, you will extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. Pages that follow, we will explore the secrets to maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, a phrenological, and arcane viewpoint. Ah. Wellness. Let's check the red-covered book last, and then we go ahead and see what the others found. Roads of old to the colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Faliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th astral era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and the demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned onto the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name: Idleshire. Well, the founding blocks of this. That bit of lore in the. Wait. Oh, that's a person. I was already wondering. Yes, of course. Alize, Graha! Where are the others? Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Krau should also be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically. So we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes. If they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. Ah, this is not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. That's cold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation's somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Favner. The Alagons founded a city on that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the elegance of the remnants of Aragon technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Guardian rule? For the past 50 years, yes? Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region as Locus Amoenus. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Nail. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Aragon civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alagon are no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last child born of the Alagon Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I've never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we were all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Kenzie. More company should be arriving any moment now. What else do I know of Corvos? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Gallo first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets! Flying carpets! The legends are quite extraordinary. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. If I can find anything to better inform the Forum's baffling behavior. There is it, Crow and Alfino. We've returned with our selections. Now I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Crow has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral Calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to final days? I am the only one who didn't witness the events of Almaroth firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Ask away. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first. What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground. Indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If all the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Shtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Is there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Alfredo, you can answer this one. Me? Me? Well, as you wish. As you wish. The Almoratines were debating the cause of an anomaly which had been observed in the lands across the sea. By this fact alone, we can deduce that the final days occurred not all at once the world over, but rather at a point of origin from which it began to spread. Others also spoke of a keening sound rising from the land itself, just before a region was visited by catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of that madness. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with the Numenon's mammoths. And ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star. Only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that intended to render unto Zodiac. A trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows had manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you. For the detailed review, I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But it's all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola. But 'tis time we began studying these research papers. It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. There's Alfino. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope, anyway. There's Y'shtola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned the source's reflections from the Garoon oracles. It is this potential, for its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Cabal library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, will be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason then that my colleagues, be they Archons or Councillors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge of the Telofroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Wait, why does Kryle only have one book? You labor for what feels like an age as Y'shtola's research assistant. Oh yeah, I need to read for her because text. Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. I found naught of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. Your efforts to gain Grahatia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. Oh, she's tired. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Yeah. The day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Ba-da-ba-bum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Melee Mastery 2 has been unlocked. Okay, grab my character, grab armory chest, legs. Oh wait, that's shoes. Shoes. Let's see to the last stand. Elise appears to be in desperate need of a study break. Ready for a tea break, Knezi? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbour, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. This is gonna be Knezi's first time experiencing coffee! This is gonna be my character's first time experiencing the joy that is coffee. Is this enough? Yes. Scholar's Harbor. It's coffee time. Again, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Blondier. A blonde-haired Ellison. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. You misunderstand, sir. We're simply wondering if you knew of the Telophroi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all that we hold dear, and what? You're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to a rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've not to say to the likes of you. Oh, I must apologize. It's foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Knazy. Yes, I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but I was hoping you might share your thoughts on Telophroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't young Miss Levier. My apologies. I work in the office of the forum, and if word had reached Master Fortuno that I was helping you. I see, we're sorry to have bothered you. Well, that was Well, customers have been decidedly uncooperative. Maybe the staff will be more willing to answer our questions. Dickon. Master Dickon. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mr. Zalizar? Is he there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent this cafe on occasion in between lessons at the studium. It seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, and then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with a situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuno may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? With questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? Like, with the end of the world. Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find. Information on this apocalypse. Whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak to me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. When you finish preparing, we just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? At your service. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. Okay, let me just get my notepad. I'll grab my notes. Tea close and drag this one out into a new window. Up. T set. T group my water's edge. Yes, the omelette is for one of our regulars. Omelette. Gisela. She's sitting outside the table with a friend. Behind him, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Gent. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. There we go. Got my... Place the correct dish on the customer's table. You work here, don't you? Still waiting on that charming little tea set. The tea set is for the chatty group by the water's edge. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you. Actually, I was meaning to ask a question. It's a lot for who? Sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about the ritual arcane practice of the 6th astral era, or common or esoteric, I would be happy to talk your ear off. The omelette is for Gisela on an outside table with a friend. Finally, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What did Lofroy? Yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. Oh, these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood. Best stay out of it, I say. Before I made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. And the oven lobster is for... Smitatia. Oh, that's a familiar hairstyle. Oven-baked lobster. At last! The oven-baked lobster is mine! You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. I've been meaning to ask about a rumor. Final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Though that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must have been a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is. They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So need for those folk who trailed after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, the gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these two Lofroy make good on their audacious threats, then my uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. The many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbour and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Alice! Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Yes, I'm a Mikote gentleman. Interesting, they seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here's that cup of coffee I promised. Whoa, I could get a drink. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the parasol, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Bench. Bench, 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 bench. Nice. A good place to sit. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Wait, Alisa gets to have the cup, but I don't. Sharlayan.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan?
Yes.
Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Oh, look, there's the Gleaners. Well, speak of the devil. Oh, they're dragging it all in there.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Labyrinthos?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
Oh.
Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the Gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Extracting all manner of intel. You thinking what I'm thinking, Alize? A labyrinthine descent. Alize is excited to share your revelations. Shall we tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners? Go on and head to the Numenon. I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. They are such nice cups, though. And again, I pressed the wrong button. Optional dialogue first. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss the tea break? Where's Alize? I thought she was with you. No, Alpha, no. She had to return the cups first. Ah, my loyal assistant returns. Is there a lexicon on the first floor that I need you... A lexicon that I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Welcome back, Knizzy. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. So basically, they've been shipping things in from all over the world. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats. But as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression that an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As just observed earlier, the Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Canesian Alizair learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telothroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha.
Oh, yes.
Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. We are going into the Lion's Den. Check in on Graha. Watch your step in Labyrinthos. It's rather more perilous than a simple storehouse. Although that will likely make the experience all the more attractive to an adventurer like you. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. I love how I can just... It's pleasant here amongst the trees. Move quickly. Oh. Now we run. Try to keep up. Keep to the path, straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Over this way. I love how I can just... I am out sprinting you. Up here. The rostra. Not far now. Oh. Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It'll make your life so much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. There's Shistola, there are the twins. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the Forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. You didn't take a wrong turn to the roster there, did you? Did you? I'd hope the Forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone into the lift and down we go! First time into Labyrinthos. Which means... Emmett, take it away.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Labyrinthos.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then. Ugh.
Is everything all right, Crab?
Did you call to me just now?
No, I did not.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
If the
I'll be
echo's
fine,
acting
I'm
up.
sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Weird. If the echo is acting up. The Path of Artifice. Excuse me, are you a cleaner? If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. Oh, there's a line. And again, I pressed the wrong button. Nah, I'm not shirking my duties. I've not been down here in an age and wished to get my bearings before I went bumbling about. From what I can see, however, there's not obviously out of place. It seems we shall have to resort to discreet inquiries as usual. The Path of Artifice. This massive lift is one of several which connects the surface of Old Sharlayan to the subterranean research and storage complex of Labyrinthos. At the end of its descent, the mechanism opens up into the hub of Upper Arkansas, for where the passengers or cargo continue onwards towards other facilities. Let me think. The rear seat should be item number 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snowballberry 1060, or wording 1061. Ah, my head feels like it's stuffed with mocha grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once? And risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kerfin carrots for Girabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiev has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Check the note. Notes about concerning large quantities of cargo making its way in and out of Labyrinthos. Master Dobbin? You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos, you know. Sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could have been either they changed the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Most of those gathered here appear to be gleaners. Why don't you wander around and try making small talk? Fimborg. Not looking forward to transporting all of this, but I'm looking forward to a nice drink afterwards. Oh, a fresh face. It's a rare sight. How might I help you, newcomer? Upper Arkansas. Labyrinthos is primary storage facility for materials delivered via the lift. And here we identify and sort send deliveries before they are sent onto the Archaeon or another facility for safekeeping. You might say we're a service entrance for Labyrinthos. Where is Alize? Where is Alize, anyway? That's a name I've read before. You hate to help or give me more headaches. because you don't have a look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Erenville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Any luck, Knazy? What tales do the gleaners have to tell? So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. What could that explain? That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. They are right, the forum is definitely up to something. And they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Oh. Oh, they turn off the lights at 6 o'clock. Glorified Ratcatcher. Kryle appears lost in thought. We would do well more to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Knazy, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! You wish to help me find the marmots? The marmots? I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name's Erenville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nashan marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present. So there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Being your guard, there are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot. Or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Squeak. Barely have you ready to sack, and then the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp once more before disappearing into the trees. There it is. Squeak, squeak. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. And right on time, because it's almost because the ad break is about to kick in. For that, by the way, I am planning to go ahead and go to BRB, grab a drink. So, I'll put Knezzy right beside him. In fact, no, I'm gonna go ahead and sneak up on him. There we go. And I'll see you guys in a moment. Goodbye. See you in a mo. I'm grabbing a drink. I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why.
marks upon this ground. I give it up just to burn it down. And if they die, you can blame it on me. I've been setting up gravestones in my hometown. I wish I had been born at sea. Then you wouldn't care and you wouldn't know me. Ebb and flow, they just don't carry me home. It's only water and air as far as I can see. Time when you would let me know, because your words weren't taken by your indigo, and I could write it all down in a matter of lines to read back what we had from a previous time. My ancestral passage here was written down each year by year, but the map is too old, see they've forgotten the roads, and so we're living by the creases.
And again, I could absolutely time it perfectly. We're back. Aaronville? How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Yeah, here it is. Elusive little bugger, isn't it? Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They have held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuity. The same officials who had us working day and night of late. The honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Knazy. Was this the cleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Kryot, students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we've made the descent to the Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I am sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend here? So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We've also discovered that when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives a distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophroi declaration was what it set it all in motion. Oh, there we go. Tripped over my words again. It seems likely, but let's not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaeon? From there we can reach the lower... There we have it. Kryle, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaeon. We followed the path east, for the forest where you were chasing after a mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, it is the trolls you need to watch out for. I had auto run on R before, so that's why I am basically constantly activating Bloodbath. Wait a moment. That's another new style of Aephorite, I think. Yerstola. This is a foremost material archive in Sharlayan. I should love to explore its treasures shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. Were you caught in mist on your way here? The sprayers keep the air humid, so the habitat feels as close as possible to a natural forest. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. Behold, the Archaeon. As Numenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance. An access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archaeon contains the physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. There we go. Deeper into the maze. Alphino is gazing into the Archaeon with an appraising look. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is... Wait, Do we have a chocobo keep? Yes. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? Oh, there's a Porogo. Cutscene. Greetings. We are here to peruse the Archaeon's vaults. And grab it a Snickers. Peruse. Clearly you're not gleaners. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults are open to the public. At least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. Spelling has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. Wait, so this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it'll be too late. We were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step aside for the moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. I'm gonna finish this first. Okay. Off you know. The Forum must be wary of exposure indeed, so heavily restrict the use of public institutions. Ah! If they're going to close off facilities, then they ought to announce it. Students must be furious. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. The upper layer is called the outer circuit, and the medial circuit lies 1 tier below us. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that people in this area involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. A bemused student. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't even let us into the Archeon. No, we found. Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no records of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we decided to donate it to the vaults. The oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. This feels like a bad thing. Bone weary work, and I hit the button again. What's that? Take you down the lift with me? Sorry, not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I found a spare moment to rest. It's a cleaner fellow heading out the gate there now, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. I am obviously going to Skyrim it. There is Erinville. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. Don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. You wish to help me with this too? You spent your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 200s are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds. But this one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and cry a distinctive call. Single it down and shoot it with this sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Search your surroundings for the hornbill. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the hornbill and use the blowgun with the left mouse button. Oh boy, it's one of these again. Call. You've sedated the wrong bird. Failed. A call. Got it. I have it.
A fair shot.
Oh. Voice line.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
Ah, he's got a line. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the accent, but eh.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I believe I may have found ourselves a way down.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill.
Yes.
I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation.
Makes sense.
But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. and among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
It's alright.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels.
Or at least the middle circuit.
And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
Bold.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
Yestola.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
If that's the case, let's do this. To the mines. Deeper into the maze. Quest is about to complete. And I hit the button again. Do, 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 do. Oh look, there's another hornbill. Nope, a labyrinth screamer. Free experience. Cryo? I never would have noticed this cave on my own. Thank the scholar that Erenville knew of it. And that you were to pursue, there to persuade him to share. I took a quick peek inside and it's awfully dark in there. The medial circuits, which Erenville mentioned, is the tier directly below us. Unlike the lowest level of Labyrinthos with its rigid security, one can usually roam the middle layer quite freely. Let us see what we might find. This must be it. The entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we'll need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Hat. Hat, 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 hat. Hat. Of course it's a helm. Alizé. The medial circuit. Alizé seems eager to get underway. Man-made though it may be, this shaft was designed to resemble a natural cave system. Heed Erenvil's warning and step carefully. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. Wouldn't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Mithril cap. Oh no. Oh no, it's one of those destinations. This is dangerous. And another purple, another danger destination. Didn't you folk get harassed by mithril caps? That mine shaft was infested with mithril caps. Some sort of research project, I wonder. I suppose they are a most unusual creature. Why do they develop such long limbs when all they do is shuffle about narrow tunnels? Knazy, do you know Crow almost took a tumble back there? She can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing for a moment, that's all. I'm not injured if you don't count my pride. Oh, everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us under the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Erenville's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Genomos. I am going to go ahead and grab my chocobo because oh, this building does have an interior. Good to know. The medial circuit. Genomos. Let's see. The grapes! They're not scrapes anymore! Now I know where we are. Now I know where we are. This is Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues. Or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Foods so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed. Mystery vegetables without a name. Only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, so yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It is possible that they know something of the form's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same or cast about for useful clues. There we go. 5 people walking. The gourds we grow here are something of an agricultural wonder. We've crossbred varieties from all across the realm to create pumpkins that are sweet, sizable, and rich in nutrients. A field full of ripe vegetables being left to rot on the vine. Not a single pick has handed work. Clearly, procuring readily available fresh food is not the forum's priority. Looks like there's no more fruit fertilizer. Could you let them know for me? Why, certainly, Ribbit. Come on yet. No two corners of the world cultivate the land the same way. My research involves poring over the many texts gathered by the gleaners to produce something altogether greater than the sum of its parts. I'm told this card holds the harvest meant for the larders here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Jepka. Why, hello there. Oh, we weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? We actually use the mines. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us feeling orderless to mow long. Massive yet detailed requests. Literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When first I heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation, but I was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Zayla! Visit us again when the lift is back in normal operation. I should hope we'll have all new crops to show you by then, but we probably won't. Oh, it's not often you meet someone here who so obviously doesn't belong. Well, can I help you with something? Nogia. For now, at least, I'm the second most important person in this facility. Now, you may think I'm shirking my duties, but even at this very moment, I am envisioning how we can improve our methods. Gazing upon this watermill calms my heart and clears my mind of unnecessary thoughts, leaving room only for brilliant ideas. Even so, inspiration takes time, and today it seems to be slower in becoming than usual. Far below. I'm from the studium, here to gain practical knowledge of how to cultivate fungi. Being in the outdoors does have its advantages over those stuffy stacks of books. I missed out! I missed out on the scrapes! What crops are you raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given it's a native to a particular locale, in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled. A region in the south of Ilsabard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such beautiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus Amoenus. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Wait, that's Graha's It's Graha's home location. Ruba Epoca. Of course, the light of the artificial sun is not so brilliant as the real one. However, it allows us to grow crops without having to worry about inclement weather or changing seasons, making the results of experimentation much more consistent. Do I have all to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Might if I stock a centaur for the cargo lift. But some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the sack of crates atop that hill over there. God, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. And again, I pushed the button. Yastola! The stack of crates on the hill is going below. That sounds promising. I'll gather the others and join you there. A stray Corrigan? The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Explain. Explain, please.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect.
I have a...
And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Hey there, you fool.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Well, this much. Also, heart blooms.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Yeah, which makes it difficult.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Let there...
Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean?
Hey, look at that! There's Erenville.
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Hard to look away, isn't it? Ribbit.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move.
Rare bit.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
What? Huh? Okay, I think there's a bit of Kryle's lore there that I don't know about. Officially. Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he's been, but what other choice do we have? Is Kryle still feeling unwell? Never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Alize, the full report, warts and all. Uh-oh. Oh, I have a feeling I know what this is. Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside the Archaeon. Come, we can still catch him. Five minutes until the ads. Ads in 5 minutes. Ooh. I can still hear it. We've fallen too far behind, and this damned mist won't help matters. It seems Jostola wishes to have a word with us. What is it, Jostola? Hold a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logistic and Beta. One of Labyrinthos' claimed control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said ancient, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as long as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. There is another way. There are other ways of turning invisible. Hippity hop, my little toes. Goodness. Ribbit. Oh, we got frogged. Unaccustomed to transfiguration. Worry not, it'll wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you would be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creatures hereabouts? In that form you are essentially defenseless. What transformation entails? Certain duties require you to transform into creatures or other people, restricting available actions. These transformations only last a limited time, indicated by the Transfiguration status effect. Should the Transfiguration status effect expire, or you stray too far from the objective, you will be returned to your original form. You may return to the starting location at any time to refresh the duration of the Transfiguration status. If it has already expired, it will be granted anew. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And we have ads in a minute. No, I'm hitting the button now because why not? Running the adverts now. Ribbit. Rare bit. I had to do this. I am gonna go into the FC here and screenshots. There we go. Loading it. Because why not? It's taking its sweet time. I had to send it to that FC. I am gonna go ahead and send it in the other FC's chat as well.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
Uh-oh.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
Fuck, he knows.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart.
Seriously, just shit, he knows.
Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
How?
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
How? Our toad performance needs work, apparently. So I'll have to pay more attention the next time I see one. I suppose we should have a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement. Who would not be so easily deceived. Yet he seemed inclined to put our trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps, we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This is a momentous duty the Forum Agent mentioned. Sharlayan has been called to action, and the Telofroy's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. A guide of sorts. Alize is staring off in the direction Erenville departed, a thoughtful look on her face. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Crow for the moment. See what they think of this. Numa. Where's Cryle? It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then. Yep, and he figured out that it was us. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Cryle, then discuss how we would like to proceed. Assuming we can find her back at the farm. She was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. I slapped the mic. Perhaps it's not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. I knew it. Cryle?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
Aww.
She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Who?
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Of course. Oh.
Thank you.
Heidelin.
Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment.
Heidelin.
Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light. It has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Menphilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free, to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Cryle.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away.
Is that why you were having headaches?
My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out.
Of course it would be
Even with
Heidel.
my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
Okay.
You can't be serious. We've done nothing wrong.
Uh-oh. Fortuno.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian. Our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. and we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
Disruptive foreign elements.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
If so, then let me put on my best suit. For sure, no, you dick.
Forgive me. I was careless.
Good job
We would
there.
have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order.
Barnier.
This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuno, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
She has a point, you know.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age-long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
While you were being arrested.
From the mouth of a Forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd.
Well.
From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Please, inform us.
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
Seems to me the resolution has failed.
I count 51 for and 48 against.
Never mind.
The proposal is passed.
But by the slimmest of margins.
Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Damn it. Well. Fuck. Thank the gods for Skolok Monteshane. Absolutely loathe arguing in circles. My father may be right, that I am still groping in the dark for answers. But I needed him to know that I would never stop searching. I owe that much to Arenvald and myself. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but do continue to claim the students as your sponsor whensoever the need arises. I believe the guiding principles of the in the guiding principles of the Scions, and I know my grandfather would have as well. I apologize for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I had just read as I left the restricted section, and knocked over the security mammoth on the way out. On my way out, I promised to be more vigilant next time. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that the mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the Ethereal Sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlayan. A state visitor. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may. His father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Alfino? Alice, it is you! Oh, when I heard you had been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother? I'm Léonce Leveilleur, at your service. And you fine people must be the scions of the 7th Dawn. How lovely is it to finally meet you. Butter, please. We don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches father that you were here... Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortuno are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. But the timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Fankred's group and reconsider our options. Go, visit your home. We'll be back at the Annex when you are ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure. Kinesi, what do you think? Kinesi? Kinesi Liaches? Oh, splendid day. What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Okay. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Kinesi, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. I will be acting as their personal security. And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. I apologize, my mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I am glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Kinesi? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it. Will you accompany me on our visit home? Fine. If we're going, then let's get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away, childhood toys. I mean, God, never mind. The Leveilleur estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Come on. Optional dialogue here. When Alize and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or a servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents, different worlds even. As children, Alfino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning out over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at an exact moment. Came pounding down the the path in a panic, crying out my name. Oh, that's adorable. So he was a good dad once. He was a good father back in the day. Ah, yes, this is where I first practiced magic on an actual person. Ali's had fallen, you see, and I scraped her knee quite badly. So I tried casting the simple restorative spell I'd only just learned. How she smiled when the wound closed. The joy and relief, that was, I believe. The very moment I chose the healing arts as my main subject of studies. I used to come here all the time with grandfather. In summer, I would dip my hands and feet in the fountain and splash about. Not Alphino, though. Even back then, he wasn't very fond of playing in water. He'd make any excuse to avoid it. Which would explain how he came to swim like an auk. And he sink like a stone. Oh, I can swim like an auk, and he sank like a stone. He just cannot swim because he never learned. Let me just... Journey's End. Occupying the eastern side of Old Sharlayan. The residential district takes its name from the tale of the city's original settlers. History tells that it is upon this hill, alongside a colony of Ox, where the refugees of a great flood chose to build their new homes. Ameliance? Ah, there you are at last. Please, do come in.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
Just admiring the craftsmanship.
Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Really?
It is plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
It would be my pleasure. So, where do we begin?
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore.
Oh.
And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you would allow me, Master Alphino.
Oh. Switch jobs. Sage.
Wait. Are these...
Nulifs.
A sage's tools of the trade.
They belong to your father. A family heirloom.
Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Job's done.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work.
Oh?
I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Go behind his back and do and do shit.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
The timing is... Fries. And that was that. Only the gods know when we'll be back again. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her. And I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice. As for these tokens of home that we carry with us, these gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. To the Baldessian annex. And look at the time. Look at the time up there. We already are over time, but I wanted to complete this questline first. Don't think for a moment that I'm jealous of Alphino's new weapons. They're far more suited to him than me. Oh, wait. We left for Eorzea in matching outfits, but our styles, both fashion and fighting, have long since diverged. If anything, I'm proud of the differences between us. If I intend to master these sages' armaments, that will mean learning to imbue them with the same ether that are born to Moonstone and Obsidian. It is difficult to grasp the essence of such an entity. For me, it will help to think of the Nulefs as allies in battle. Simply a new form of the energy which meant to manifesting my carbuncle companions. For us to feel responsible for the schism of House Levier would be pure hubris. After all, we are merely on the outskirts of what is, essentially, a family affair. And yet neither can we claim the indifference of strangers. To hear their mother welcome them so warmly was a joy and a relief. Graha? As curious as I am to learn the truth of this duty, I wonder what else the Forum is hiding. A calamitous secret whose origin lies in the ethereal sea. Duplicity aside, however, I do not believe Master Fortuno means us ill. Even the harsh words he had for his children stemmed not from anger, I think, but desperation. Enjoyed your time with the Leviers, I hope? I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope that we can help them reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret of the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to guide us going forward. I'm confident that once we've heard of your reports from Favner, we'll be well equipped to plot out our next move. And that, my dear viewers, and that's our dear viewers, brings us to the end of today's episode. I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time after TwitchCon. Now, let's find someone to raid, shall we? Twitch stream dashboard. Let me just hit my following list. I'm sending you all over to Noko. See you all over there. And oh, never mind. I cannot raid out to Noko. Why does it show in the list then? That's one thing that I honestly... I have an idea. Now, it is a fairly stupid idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. Let's say hello to Fukuro, who's currently standing AFK in Limsalomint in the mist on the at Moogle Corp. I made a mistake.